1. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the next episode of Dan and Northernlion Play Hearthstone Badly. Ryan, what's going on?
How's it going, Dan?
Good, good, good. We got a themed deck for you guys today. Ryan, you want to drop the heat on them?
Yeah, it's pretty complex. Every minion. Wait, does every minion have to have a battle cry?
That is correct.
Give me 1 sec. I didn't vet this one in advance. I had it pre-built.
Like pre-built from another life?
No, from like an earlier quest. That was like, hey, play 75 minions with battle cry, and I was like, that's ridiculous.
Okay.
But they do all have battle cry. Thanks, previous self. Alrighty.
Oh, you know how you got that card back?
It was last week's Tavern Brawl.
But wasn't it like a secret level?
I think just beating it once got me the card back. But there was like, it was Diablo themed, so there was like, if you pumped all of the opponent's secrets, then he summoned the portal, and then if you didn't kill him by the next turn, the portal sucked you into the secret cow level, and then like he became the cow king, and he summoned a bunch of cows.
Did you watch that, or did you actually play it?
I actually beat that Tavern Brawl like 12 times.
Why?
It was really good for quests.
What do you? Oh, like banging out gold coins?
Yeah, like you got like I had a win 5 Tavern Brawl quest, and I was like, you know how long that takes against a human? 10 games. You know how long that takes against the AI? 5 games. So that was just the, run the math on that one.
So you're back to spending hours at a rate of 17 cents, getting compensated 17 cents. Good for you, Sir Miggleton. Speaking
Sir
of
Finley Murgletron, Dan.
Speaking of Sir Miggleton, Factorial's been out for like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did that become like a game again?
Well, we were playing Astroneer, which is like that survival game. Well, you're playing it with Mathis, so you know. But
yeah.
It's kind of busted. Like, we had a save, and then the update came out and broke our save. So we recorded like 6 episodes of season 2. And then the freaking next time we loaded it up, our saves were corrupted again. So it was just like, oh, we don't want to like just keep doing the same 7 episodes over and over. Like, that's just stupid. So instead, we decided to start something a little bit more stable. So we started Factorio, and like people we're in. Like, we probably suck at it, but we're invested, and it is a wonderful experience in building a society together.
But I thought that was like, I played a little bit of it. Isn't it like almost kind of like a competitive RTS, or is there not that element of it? It's just a survival game?
It's not. It's entirely collaboration.
Oh, okay.
If you want it to be, I guess.
Could you attack each other?
You could murder each other, I guess. We have managed to not do that so far, though.
Do you think that's going to happen at some point?
I don't think there's enough incentive for it to happen, honestly.
Like, can't you like blow up Austin's track and then get all his coal wheeled into your house for free or something?
Is that how you played when you played it? You were like, hey, that coal that's in the ground belongs to me?
No.
That's like way too real, man.
No, it just for me it just felt like, and I told you this I think in Skype, I used to play this logic game as a kid, and it's like one of those games you got as a kid, at least for me, that's like, oh, you could play this one more than the other ones because this one's supposed to make you, it's like academic. It's called like The Island of Dr. Brain, and it's like that reminded me too much of that game. It's like you got to think.
It's a smart game, like there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that one.
But no, I think it was cool when I played it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. It just takes a lot of mental power to understand what the heck's going on.
It was a fun time. I don't know why you're ragging on it so much.
I would describe it as the perfect game for you.
Well, that's very kind, Dan. Thank you.
Speaking of, how's your did you finish your final project for your programming class?
Oh yeah, that was like, we finished that at the end of November, but that was a nightmare.
Did you get a grade on it?
We did.
How'd you do?
I mean, it's gonna seem like it's bragging, but we did get 100.
Sir Miggleton!
This is not Sir Finley Murgletron, Dan.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's who you are in the class, and you get 100%.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. The class average might have been like 94. So,
Ooh.
you ever have a class like that where you're like, oh, I did. You'd almost rather get like a 70 in a hard class than get like, a 95 in a class where the average is like 95.
I'm just happy that I'm getting a good grade.
Maybe I'm overthinking it.
All right, let's put you out of your misery here.
Blowgill Snake. You modified. Well, you probably built it today, right?
Yeah, I built it like
That makes sense.
10 minutes ago. What were you gonna say? I modified what? Murray
Oh,
boys?
I don't. Yeah, I thought you were on like Murray Boys or I don't know, Pint Glass 3.9 or something.
Actually, I've been doing a little tweaking to my highball. It's at 3.4 right now.
3.4. Well, you ever hear the expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Like, it wasn't broke.
But it can always be improved. Speaking of, when you do like software updates,
Yeah.
do you always change the second decimal point?
I mean, it depends how ambitious you want to be, right? Like, I would say yes. Because you should only be at version 1 when it's ready for public release. So you don't want to be like, okay, I've done 4 commits to this. Like, I've changed 4 things. We're already at version 0.4. Like, you're too close.
Is there like
it's
is there like
pretty
standard
minor.
language like you're not supposed to do that, or does everyone just do what they want with that kind of stuff?
I think it's pretty much up to the person.
Got it.
Is my understanding, at least.
So what, like Isaac is like 1.3 or something at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It makes more sense to have. Some people go overboard. They have like 8 decimal points. Which is actually not horrible necessarily if you have like 100 programmers on the team and they're all making changes. But
Hey, let me ask you the logic behind this, or why this works like this. So back in the day, like some Nintendo games,
yeah,
their save files were like 16 to 32 digits. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah.
How would that, like, so a game like, I believe Metroid had that. So like, if you reset and you died, it gave you this this code. How was that even possible? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it would give you like basically 4 blocks of 4 letters or numbers to put in.
Yes. And then, but it would bring you exactly to where you left off. You know what I mean? And like, it may not,
Yeah.
It doesn't sound that impressive nowadays, but back then you're like, that's pretty good.
I actually I don't know. And whenever you read about like games programming back in like the 80s and early 90s, when they had like, a 1 megabyte of RAM was like $1 million to buy or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually like incredible. Like, how did you put sound into this game with that little space? Like, you shouldn't be able to put sound. Nowadays, like, it's kind of rich to say, but like, it's real. It's a lot easier to program. Whereas like back in the day, shit was like impossible. Now you can be like, hey, should we load like that huge texture into the game right off the bat? What does it matter? Everybody's got 16 gigs of RAM anyway, and like i7 processors. But back in the day, you had to be like a lot more rigorous.
Do you think they had to draw with programming?
I don't know actually. I'm assuming yes though.
You know what I'm saying?
assuming that they had to like programmatically draw a screen.
Yeah, instead of just like, hey, you just draw it.
Yeah. I feel it. Yeah, I understand. It is amazing. Like, there's like, Iwata, the president of Nintendo, who passed away like 2 years ago. Apparently, like, when Earthbound was about to come out, he was like, hey, let me get a look at that. And then he like fixed the whole game in like a single weekend or something like that. He was just like, I'm gonna come into the office like late one night, and he just like fixed all of the bugs that they had, and then went home. And then Earthbound came out, and it was considered one of the greatest games of all time. Now I've never played it, but
that's baffling to think like just one guy could have all that power.
I know it reminds you of something, doesn't it?
It does. Wait, how come you never played Earthbound?
Just never found the interest, I suppose.
Did you play Undertale?
No.
So that's not your style of game then?
Not really, no.
How would you define that style of game?
I You trying to get me in trouble here?
No, I'm just asking.
You know, it's like an RPG. It's an RPG.
Yeah, but there's a little something. It's like, isn't there like a layer of RPG that like those two games are considered similar, but why?
I guess they're like self-aware.
Okay. I had to.
What? This dude put Rito Jackson in his deck?
That's the first time in my life I've played it. And I'm not
That's
joking.
amazing. Did you own League of Explorers then?
Well, I just found that was in my deck. I didn't even know that was in my deck until I was putting this thing together. All right, so we run this back, right?
Yeah.
All right, so guess my deck title. I'm gonna say it is a play on a famous Justin Timberlake song.
All right. Okay. Is it What Goes Around Comes Around?
Mm-mm. Think of what's another really famous Justin Timberlake song. Not In Sync, Justin Timberlake.
Cry Me a Reno.
Close. That's close. That's pretty close. But what I will say is that this entire game and our last Tavern Brawl, it has to do with our friend that we've left out of both of these.
Oh no! Well, he's a Death Rattle minion. Ah, okay. So you go through some Justin Timberlake songs here.
You got the song right. You just are missing the Hearthstone character.
Oh, really? So is it Cry Me a Loot Hoarder? Loot Me a Hoarder? Something like that?
Close. Cry Me a Roll Need.
Cry Me a Roll Need, of course. How could I not get that?
Someone, I think, sent me a DM or tweeted me today of someone tweeted the Roll Need guy.
Yeah.
And said, mind if I rolled need? And he said, sure, why not? I feel like that's a little highbrow. Like he's not acknowledging what he came through.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like... I mean, I guess if it annoys you, why even respond? But, like, maybe he's just being... Like, I could imagine Josh responding like that.
Really?
Yeah, mind if I roll need? Absolutely.
I don't know. I think you got to embrace it. But we've talked about this.
Well, I agree with you on that one. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? You're the rolled need guy.
Yeah, but realistically, there's probably like 0.001% of Hearthstone players know that he's the guy.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's like you're like the guy in The Godfather that drives the car. Some people may recognize you, but most probably won't.
Well, I mean, the thing about Hearthstone is that, like, people who play this game don't even like it, so. Everybody who plays this game hates it. You go to the subreddit sometime. It's always like, man, when's people going to teach Blizzard how to balance their game? I'm going back to, insert card game here. And they're not always, like, just being annoying about it, but the community surrounding the game is so tiresome sometimes. You're like, you're not necessarily wrong, but if all you do is complain, like, just stop for like a day. Just play the game for like a day and then complain tomorrow.
Have you ever been driven to a point where you've ranted on Reddit about something?
I don't think so. Have you?
I have not, but I'm just wondering at any point in your life, like it doesn't have to be anything gaming related, but was there something that like, drove you to like need to vent online?
No, but I taught with a guy in Korea who like, he didn't know what Reddit was. This is back in like 2011. So it's not like it was a well-kept secret, but it wasn't like extremely well known.
Uh-huh.
And, I told him about it. I was like, yeah, it's like a cool place to see content. Stuff like that. He's okay. And then like a week later, I was in the office and I saw that he was on his Reddit account and he was typing up like a huge message on like our politics. It was like, wow, you're a fucking idiot. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, you got it. That's the next step.
But did you have to look over his shoulder or you just knew something?
Well, I walked over there and then he was like, he was typing for a while and then he like minimized. Like maybe I shouldn't let this guy know, what my Reddit ID is or something. But
Hey, your Reddit name is like common knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to like drop it.
No. It's
What does that mean?
It's just like it's just an alias. It doesn't mean anything.
I know, but did you use it for other aliases?
Well, I wouldn't want to tell you that, would I?
Maybe.
Dan, we're living in this era of like, you click on one link in an email, you destroy a whole political party, and you're like, oh, what's the name of the first car you owned? You gotta obfuscate the connections like online to some extent, man. You're gonna get fished.
but I've never asked you that question, but I would like to now that you brought it up.
You're living in this era of like what am I like, you know, you got a password that's like, you know, football 1-1 or something like that.
That would never be my password.
He's alt-tabbing right now to change all his passwords.
But I don't know. I just don't think like that.
No, it's a new era, man. I mean, I guess it's good like that you don't think like that. But
was the first car you drove, was it a truck, SUV, or small sedan?
Actually, I learned to drive on a Ford F-150 with like a huge cab on the back that like created these ridiculous blind spots.
Was it a family vehicle?
It was my grandfather's car.
What was the cab for? I've always seen people with those, but I've never understood what the need for them.
I guess it's like you can fill up the bed of the truck more without risking it like falling out.
But if you're just hauling gravel, do you really need a cab?
That's real funny, Dan. That's hilarious.
It's
so funny. I forgot to laugh.
Wait, so that's what you learned on? Do you know how to drive stick?
No, not at all.
Have you ever tried?
No. Okay. When I was younger, my dad drove a manual transmission, but then I was like, well, I mean, he bought automatics for like the rest of the time that I was in their house. So I was like, why would I learn to drive? I'm not going to buy my own car so I can learn to drive stick shift.
Did you buy your own car?
16 years old. No.
Oh. I say, being an only child, I'm like, there's no way Ryan bought his first car.
No. Well, I mean, I did buy my first car, actually. But my first car is this 2015 Ford Focus, man.
When are you going to come to grips that it's a Fiesta?
It's not a Fiesta, Dan. The Fiesta is a sensible automobile as well. I would never dispute that.
Out of 10 honks on the horn, what do you rate your Focus?
Well, I like it, but then somebody in chat was like, NL, I gotta talk to you. Like, the Focuses from 2007 to 2015 have a known issue with their transmission, where, like, if you're going up a hill, the car just starts to shake, and then you gotta, like, get the transmission replaced sometimes. And when he said it, I was like, that's exactly what happens. If I'm going up, like, a long hill, the car just goes, like every once in a while, so... And he's like, you got to sell that. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like pretty lazy too. So
wouldn't that be considered a recall?
I don't know. Maybe they've done a recall. Maybe they haven't.
You don't seem to sound too concerned about it.
I mean, maybe it's naive of me. I would hope that the dealership would let me know, but maybe not.
That's understandable.
Well, you know, I was like, well, if it's busted, you know, I'll just shit talk them on social media.
This is all right. So I don't get like... I honestly, one of my George tenets, if you will, is I try to avoid. Let me rephrase this. I try to stay positive, even in the face of like, you know, bad stuff going on. You know, but I get it. Everyone's got stuff they need to complain about. However, one of the things that I don't understand, and if you can indulge me on, is, and if you've done this, this is no shake of the rattle against you, but is complaining about Airlines on social media. Do you have a take on that? I have done this once. Tell me about the situation which you unleashed.
Well, basically, like, we bought our tickets for this flight like months in advance, and then when we got to the gate, they were like, "Yeah, we overbooked this, so like we're not even gonna be sure. We're not sure you can even get on this plane right now." And I was like, well, "That's pretty fucked up," because we, like, you know, bought tickets under the assumption that we could fly today. And they're like, yeah, I know. Oh, it's messed up, you know? Sorry, the world wasn't built for you guys. You think you just buy a ticket, get on an airplane? What year is it, right? Anyway. And then eventually, like, we got on, and we're like, can we sit together? And they're like, no, that's not possible. Okay. So we sat, like, in different seats on the plane, and it was in December. Like, it was holiday season, so it was super expensive. So I, like, tweeted. I was like, Air Canada, what's up with this? I don't know. They did the standard, like, hey, we're really sorry you had to deal with that. Here's the customer service line. Cthulhu. Really? Without any Cthulhu cards. Just Cthulhu itself.
I'm still learning how to use it. So then,
then basically they were like, call customer service. And I called customer service. And I was like, hey, you know, it's pretty fucked up, you know? We bought our tickets. We didn't even know if we'd be able to fly. Weren't able to sit in the same seats even though we chose them. And then the lady on the phone was just like, well, you know, we don't control the universe, sir. Oh, all right. Well, sorry. I guess I was like asking you to control the universe. I thought what I was asking is like, can we sit together in the tickets that we bought? But in reality, I was asking you to rearrange every single atom in the universe so that it could will this into existence by itself, I suppose.
So, can you do me a favor? Next time you have to call customer service, will you please record it? Like, did you give her lip like you just said you were giving her?
No, but I, on the phone, I'm just like, it seems like it's pretty messed up. And she's like, yeah, sir, well, there's things out of our control. All right, like, how many tickets you sell for an airplane that has X seats? You sell, like, X plus 20%? That's out of your control?
So, okay, so I can understand that perspective. However, most of the time, don't they, like, wave a couple golden carrots in front of everyone and say, like, hey, who wants to sit down?
That's why I called. I was like, they're not going to give me my money back. That's ridiculous. But give me some lounge access the next time we fly or something like, a voucher or something like that. They were just like, well, you can send us a formal complaint if you want, but I'm not going to give you anything over the phone. Sorry. I know that lounge access is really precious. I wouldn't want to, where you're going to give me like $2 worth of hummus for my hardship. Like, no, that was annoying. But I think that most complaints on airlines I see from like either people who fly all the time or from people who never fly. And they're like, I'm on a flight from like Detroit to Chicago and they don't serve a meal? What year is it? That's how it is. That's just how it is now.
I don't know, man. I just see people like, oh, hey, I'm connecting flights. I have 45 minutes. So when they booked it, they know they have a 45-minute window. But we ran into a snowstorm in Delta. How could you let this happen? I'm like,
yeah,
come on, guy. Like, I understand you're upset, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And I have had situations. Well, I've never missed a flight. I've come really close on some connections. Like I had to make a connection in Frankfurt, which I'd never been to before. It was like a 20-minute connection, and then the airport is about 40 miles in radius, and everything's in German and English. But also, as a North American, I'm like, whoa, 2 languages on the side. That's pretty intimidating. So I eventually like got to the gate, and they're like, yeah, like your plane's about to leave. They loaded me on this like short bus, and then bussed me out to the gate, and I got on, and I'm like, you don't have to roll out the presidential carpet here. I'm just going to play Europa Universalis.
Wait, what do you mean short bus? Like in the terminal?
Yeah, well, it was like the gate went onto like the road or the tarmac, and then the tarmac, they drove me on a bus out to the little MD-80 or whatever it was.
So they took you on the tarmac or they drove you through?
No, they're on the tarmac, not on one of those carts that they drive you through in the airport.
That's kind of sweet, though.
It was cool, I guess, yeah.
And so did you feel like a baller being, like, driven up, or were you, like, socially aware that people may be pissed that you were that guy that held up the flight?
Well, yeah, but I was also like, I didn't even book these flights. It's not my fault it was late, but, life goes on.
Do you have any big travels planned up in 2017 that you'd want to share that isn't personally revealing information that may feel you?
Really? Do you? Like, I mean, we'll probably go. Well, we're gonna go to PAX East, and we'll probably visit my parents in my hometown in the summer. But apart from that, nothing really I can think of. How about you?
Where's your hometown?
It's in Ontario.
I know, but what region of Ontario?
What region of Ontario?
Yeah.
It's Kingston, Ontario.
Ooh, we're breaking them down, boys. All right.
No, that's common knowledge. You ever speak there? You ever get a speaking engagement at St. Lawrence College?
No, but I've driven through the area.
Doesn't surprise me. Common story. People drive through there.
Yeah, it's an interesting place.
If you get in, I mean, Kingston's fine, dude.
You said it in a way that it's not fine.
Well, no, it isn't. People think it's like people from the big city are like, "Whoa, Kingston! You ever seen an automobile before?" And you're like, "Yeah, you know."
Like, no, I haven't, but I got one hell of a gravel pit. Have you talked to any family members about that yet?
No, like it's just common knowledge, like
it's
over
not
here. But
common.
I guess I gotta ask them.
Will you ask them, please?
I suppose I will ask them.
Just like, hey, why did we have all that gravel?
I mean, I'm gonna just say that that's like my grandparents, and I'm not gonna disparage them. But there was like sometimes we'd be like, hey, because we lived with like it was my parents and my grandparents living in this place out in the country. So, like, we just come home like from school one day, and we'll be like, hey, you got like 4 slot machines in your house now. And my grandpa would be like, yeah, I bought 4 slot machines.
Really?
Yeah. And we're like, what for? And he's like, you know, you could just pull the lever and play them. And it was pretty cool when you're like 10. You go downstairs and you're like, you know, I won. Like, you're not putting anything in and nothing comes out.
But so that would be like, would that happen a lot where random interesting items would show up at your house, like gravel pits and slot machines?
Semi-frequently, I would say, yeah.
That's kind of cool. So you never knew what was
I
around.
don't know if it's cool or if it's like a sign of something more nefarious. I don't know. But
what's nefarious mean?
Well, you know, like like early warning sign for some kind of mental illness or something like that.
Oh, like hoarding or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got you. I've seen some stuff in my day, but we'll save that for another time. If you were to hoard one thing in your life and be okay
like preferably like nothing.
I know, but and be okay with it, what would that thing be?
I don't know, like you're asking me for a loophole here. I would hoard like empty space.
No, you have to
I would hoard real estate.
No, you have to pick an item within your dwelling.
I don't want to hoard. What would you hoard, Dan? I don't want to hoard anything. There's let me put it this way. There's no episodes of Hoarders where they go in and they're like, you got a lot of good stuff here. It's always like, no matter what the stuff is, they're like, if you got to climb over it to get to your toilet, there's a problem, right?
Wait, so I know, but just say that your life depended on you having one item. It doesn't have to be in your entire house, but say maybe 2 rooms of your house filled from ceiling to floor. What would that item be?
Cold hard cash.
Come on.
Well, I don't know what you're asking.
I don't want the NL answer. I want it has to be an item.
I don't know. I guess you would want. What about the gold?
Okay, it cannot be an item that holds a tremendous amount of value, like an asset, like gold or cash or real estate.
What about black lotuses?
We're gonna be rich.
Oh my fucking god! I had so many opportunities to get lethal, and I refused. And this is how you repay me.
That's because you didn't answer the question.
Did you be honest? Did you just top deck that?
I did.
Oh my god.
See, if you would have answered the question, you probably would have done lethal, and we would have been living another day.
I don't know what I would want to hoard. That's like what if you had to be addicted to like any drug. What drug would you be addicted to?
That's not even the case.
You can't say caffeine. It has to be injected into your bloodstream, right? Like
That's not even the case, though. This is like an item that you could have almost an endless bounty of in your home, and you're choosing to take it the negative way.
I mean, you won't let me take anything that's worth money.
That's acceptable.
So I gotta take just something that holds sentimental value, despite having so much of it that it inconveniences me.
No, it can have a utility.
Like what?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I don't want to spoil the activity for you.
Well, what would you choose? Like, you gotta. It's not that I'm trying to obfuscate my answer. It's that I don't have. I've never answered a question like this in my entire human existence, so I have no basis for like what makes sense and what doesn't.
Well, I mean, I think if I had to have like a bunch of items in 2 rooms in my house, I would go with LaCroix.
Yeah, but then you drink it and it's gone. That hardly seems fair. It's like I got a lot of this thing in my house, and then now I don't because I drank it all.
But it automatically replenishes itself, and it never spoils.
Okay, well, sure, that's fine. I think that makes sense. I'll accept it.
Okay, so then what would your answer be?
LaCroix.
You stole fizzy lifting drink. Hey, what's with you? Oh, that was my bone I had to pick with you. And I don't pick a lot of bones, but what's with you bashing my movie reviews?
I wasn't bashing them.
Oh, there was some serious bashing going on.
I just threw it out there as like, well, first off, you got to admit, dangheesling.com/movies is a great URL.
It is.
It's an all-time classic URL.
Before you go on your roast, let me just say the intended purpose of that was for me to track movies that I like and that I've seen, so that I'd never watch the same movie again if I don't have to.
Is that a recurring concern?
Sometimes you watch like a drama from the late 90s and you're like, I don't think I've seen this, but then about halfway through you're like, oh yeah, I've seen this. I don't want to watch it.
You're talking about A Bronx Tale.
No, I'm talking about like The Firm with Tom Cruise.
Oh, that movie's all right.
Yeah, but you don't want to watch it more than once in your life.
I can feel you on that one, I suppose.
But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, the second thing is, you gave Prometheus a 9.
What's wrong with Prometheus?
Prometheus has got, I mean, I could see you giving it like a 7. Personally, it's like a 3 for me, but I get it. You know, it's framed very nicely. It's intriguing, you know, the special effects are good. But a 9?
Can I tell you why?
Sure, yeah.
So I went into Prometheus, and this is spoiler alert, not knowing it had any connection to Alien whatsoever.
What the fuck?
What?
The 1414 Blubber Baron?
I've been hanging on to them, building them up. No, you you dick. That was my whole deck was built around him. Look at him counting his 10 pennies.
I'm so salty about the way that this went down. Taunt, please. Oh. I had to win, man. I had so many times. It was like the conversation's going nicely. Let's just let it go. Oh, that's what you get. That's what you get.
If you're in the comments in Ryan's channel, please let him know the exact timestamps in which he missed Lethal.
It was so, like, literally Lethal was like, hey, hit him. Just hit him with the minions you got. You got, oh my, the Reno top deck. That's what I get, man.
Reno top deck mixed with a little blubber.
I got big brothered. I got big brothered by Blubber Baron.
So, just to wrap things up, so that's why I gave Prometheus such a high rating.
Because it surprised you.
Yeah, I had no idea it was connected to Alien. So at the end, you're like, this was a good movie.
No idea?
I had zero idea. Zero.
What did you think it was going to be? Like,
how am I? It's not called Prometheus : Aliens or Aliens : Prometheus. It's not called like Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Like, how am I supposed to know?
What? Like, I guess I can't put myself back in 2012 and be like, oh, it's obvious, you know? But I was like, when I went in, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is Alien. Isn't there like there's in the trailer they're like panning over the walls of the facility they go inside and there's like a xenomorph head etched into the wall or something?
90% sure that's not in there.
Wait, you know, okay, Alt Tab, Prometheus, Xenomorph, Mural. It auto-completed, Dan.
What does it look like?
It looks like a freaking Xenomorph.
Tell
Here,
me, what did you type in again?
I'm just gonna link it to you in your Discord. Hopefully the beefy bison doesn't mind. I'm pushing his message a little bit out of the way.
All right, I'm clicking on this. So this look. Yeah, how are you going to see this in the movie?
It was in the trailer, dude.
Yeah, but if this flashes in front of the trailer and you're not paying attention, you're getting junior mints and some popcorn. You're never going to see this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan. This is damning. How do you feel about this one? It's got all the red squares already on it, analyzing what's happening.
You get a face hugger. You get a no. Wait, so is this in the movie?
Yeah, look, Nuria Pass is going up to that. She's like, "What's up with this thing right here?"
Who is Nuria Pass?
She plays Shaw, I think is her name.
Nuria Pass?
She's like, "My name is Lieutenant Shaw."
For you to pull, I've been amazed by you a few times, but this is a nobody, I mean, no offense, a nobody actress that you knew her
What are you
name.
talking? She was in the Swedish version of the girl with the dragon tattoo, aka the original.
Wait, did you say Swedish? She's been in Prometheus and the girl with the dragon tattoo, the original. What else?
Yeah.
The Drop, Child 44, Passion, The Monitor, Labyrinth, Mobisodes TV series short as Nikki.
She's not unknown, dude.
Oh, she's about as unknown as they get.
What are you talking about? She was in Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. She played Madame Simza Heron.
I'm just telling you, I'm amazed. This was no. I walked.
Well, you
away
scrolled
amazed.
down too far. You got into the part where she was only famous in Sweden. Yeah, okay. I've never seen Pusselbiter, the mini series that aired only on, Swedish public access. But
Wait, look at her career in 2007. Tell me what's going on there.
when she was in Daisy Diamond and Labyrinth Mobisodes.
What's a mobisode and why is it called Labyrinth and not Labyrinth?
It's Swedish, man.
The girl who kicked the hornet's nest.
It's the trilogy, man.
But this is the bad one, right? Because then they redo it like Americanized and made it better.
They didn't redo it because it was bad. They redid it because, your country refuses to read in a movie. Read? That'll take 10 seconds. Why don't you just hire a catering crew, a whole new firm of actors, get lawyers to draft up contracts, buy some new cameras, rent a set, and film the movie in the language I already speak so that, I don't have to be mildly inconvenienced.
All this because of Numi Rapace. She's a top 500 actress? Get that out of here.
Dude, she's in movies.
The only thing she's in is mobisodes. And speaking with that, I think I'm going to take us out. But Ryan, I think what you should do is you should maybe... Did you go through any of my movie ratings? Or was that the only one that you took issue with?
I mean, I just looked at what chat took issue with.
There's some classics in here that you probably don't even know. Look at IMDb member for 10 years. I've been doing
That's a
this.
long time.
I've been putting in the hours. 5 reviews a day for 3 summers.
You really liked Surviving Christmas, huh?
That was another one that snuck up on me. Have you seen it?
No, but I do see that you gave it an 8. And 18,325 IMDb users have come to a consensus that it's around a 5.3.
Well, I saw Ben Affleck, and I'm like, okay, I'm not a really big Ben Affleck fan, but he kind of steals the show. Plus, who else
How can he steal the show? He's the lead actor.
Because he's kind of like the scumbag Ben Affleck, which is the best kind of Ben Affleck. But then
Okay, sure.
James Gandolfini's in it, and he kind of,
Right.
is legit. So.
You really didn't like Money Monster, huh?
No, that was fluff.
I thought it was like a 6.
What did I give it? A 5?
I give it a 4.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Hold on. What are my top tier ones? Can you sort by
Sort by.
highest rated?
I can't sort by your rating, I think.
I gave Wing Commander. I am very objective. I gave Wing Commander a 4.
I think that's fair.
Midnight Run is a 9. Blood Diamond 8. The Martian 8. Those are all very straight out of Compton 8. Ex Machina. Have you seen Ex Machina?
Yeah, I loved Ex Machina.
Okay, out of 10, what would you rate that?
Probably like a 9.
Ooh, that's what we're on. Have you seen Nightcrawler?
Yes.
What did you rate that?
I would probably give that maybe like an 8.
Okay, we're a little bit off there.
I'm just looking at. I'm waiting to see where like you deviate from society. So far, like sorting by IMDb list, you're pretty much in there. Maybe you're a little bit lower on Bowling for Columbine than the and All the President's Men. Starting to notice a recurring trend there with certain standing. That's all right though.
Elysium, I gave it 2.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
Yes.
I hate that.
Indie Game the movie, what would you give that?
Probably like a 7.
Okay, I give it an 8.
Yeah, so I see that in here.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, Catching Fire is pretty good. Don't blame me on that one.
Karate Kid 2 and Karate Kid 1.
Yes, I mean, not an enormous fan of Rounders to the point where I give it a 9, but
Oh, what? What would you give it? Max 8?
probably like a 6.
Are you kidding me? There's so many good parts to that movie. Character
Give Knocked
development.
Up a 5.
Yeah, I'm not a big Seth Rogen guy.
Prometheus a 9.
So, like, here-
Crank a 5. Come on, man.
This is exactly why I have the list. If you were to ask me if I've seen Crank, I would say no. But then I referred to this list, and I'm like, yeah, I saw it.
Oh, dude, there you go. The Firm, 7 out of 10. Just in case you thought he was pulling a movie out of his butt.
No.
Dan Gheesling rated this a 7.
Yeah, it's Night at the Museum, a 5. I'll tell you, here's a good movie, and you'll probably never watch it.
Yeah,
Papillon. That's real good.
never seen it.
1973. Most people will never watch it, but it's a
Yeah.
solid 8 out of 10. Not Prometheus level, but pretty good. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to Ryan for roasting my movie reviews. But as always, we appreciate you guys' support on the series. If you guys enjoyed it, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And we'll see you guys next time.
Later.